There are mornings when the body has just awakened, yet the mind already feels tired. Early light slips through the window. The room is still quiet. The breath is slow and gentle, and yet inside, the mind has begun to move. Yesterday's thoughts return. A sentence left unsaid. Something that should have been done better. A worry without an answer. Before your feet even touch the floor, the mind is already full. We often think this is normal, that mornings are supposed to feel this way, that carrying old thoughts is how we prepare for a new day. But in the teachings of the Buddha, you do not need to begin your day with that heaviness. A clean mind is not a mind without thoughts. A clean mind is a mind with space. Space to breathe, space to feel, space to not be pulled away the moment the day begins. This morning, you do not need to change your entire life. Just for these first few minutes, stay here. Listen, slow the breath, and allow the mind to open. The 7 teachings that follow are not meant to be memorized or to force you into positivity. They are simply gentle steps, guiding you back to yourself before the new day truly begins. Lesson 1. Release. Yesterday, before today, begins morning. Always opens like a quiet doorway, an entrance into a day that has never existed before. Yet many people walk through that doorway with their hands full of old luggage. They carry lingering emotions, unsettled thoughts, and things that should have ended yesterday. And so even though a new day has begun, the mind feels heavy, as if it never truly rested. In reality, the past is no longer here. What happened is no longer happening. Words that were spoken no longer echo. Old moments have passed like a dream, fading after waking. Yet the human mind has a habit of returning. It replays old images, repeats old stories, and holds tightly to old feelings, as if letting go would mean losing something important. This clinging is what makes the morning feel heavy, even when the body has just awakened. In the teachings of the Buddha, suffering does not come from what has already passed, but from our tendency to keep carrying it forward. When the mind keeps returning to yesterday, there is no longer enough space for today. It is like a room that has not yet been cleaned. Even when new light enters, everything remains crowded and unsettled. To clean the mind is not to erase memory, but to stop living inside it. Imagine your mind as a still bowl of water. When it is undisturbed, the water is clear and reflective. But the emotions of yesterday are like fine dust settling on the surface. If you stir the water, the dust spreads everywhere. If you try to wipe it away, the water only becomes cloudier. The only way for clarity to return is to let the water be still. No resistance, no interference, simply allowing the settling to happen naturally. This morning, before leaving your bed, take 3 slow breaths. As you breathe in, know that you are breathing in. As you breathe out, know that you are breathing out. There's no need to change the rhythm. Simply notice. During these 3 breaths, imagine the bowl of water within, you gradually becoming calm. The emotional dust of yesterday slowly sinks to the bottom. You do nothing. You simply remain and allow. As the mind begins to settle, gently ask yourself one very simple question. What am I holding on to that I do not need today? It might be a sentence that hurt you, a mistake that still lingers, a worry without an answer. You do not need to resolve it right now. Just recognize that you are carrying it. That recognition alone is already a form of release. The Buddha once reminded us not to run back to the past and not to wander into the future. Life truly unfolds only in this moment. When you wake with your mind still caught in yesterday, you miss your own morning. Letting go does not mean forgetting. Letting go means allowing each thing to rest where it belongs. Yesterday remains yesterday. Today is lived fully as today. Before you stand up, whisper one small sentence quietly within. Yesterday has ended. Today is new. Let these words spread through you, like cool water, and if you wish, choose one specific thing that you decide to release this morning. Just one. Set it down. Then step through the doorway of the new day with lighter hands and a mind that has already begun to be gently cleaned. Lesson 2. Protect the first moments of your morning. The first moments of the day are a quiet sanctuary, a very thin and delicate space where the mind has just left sleep and has not yet been pulled away. In these early minutes, the mind is softer, more open, and more receptive than at any other time of the day. When this space is protected, it can become the foundation for a gentle day. When it is invaded too early, the disturbance it carries can follow you for many hours afterward. Many people lose this quiet space within seconds. As soon as the eyes open, the hand reaches for the phone. Messages, notifications, news, images of other lives, tasks to be done, things left unfinished. Before the first breath is fully felt, the world has already rushed in and claimed attention. The mind has not yet awakened, yet it is already reacting. From that moment on, the morning no longer belongs to you. In the teachings of the Buddha, attention is where the mind resides. The mind follows where attention is placed. When you give the first moments of your day to external noise, the mind is pulled outward from the very beginning. But when you keep a few minutes for stillness, the mind has a chance to pause and gently organize itself. Imagine the mind as a flowing river. The water is naturally calm, moving in its own direction, but a single stone placed at the right moment can change the course of the current. The first moments of the day are where that stone is placed. If the stone is urgency and tension, the whole day is carried in that direction. If the stone is presence and gentleness, the mind flows another way. This morning, try giving the first 60 seconds to yourself. There is no need to touch the phone, no need to think about work. Place one hand over your heart. Feel the quiet rhythm beating within. Then breathe in slowly for 1 count. Breathe out slowly for 1 count. Repeat this 4 times. Just 4 breaths are enough to let the mind know that it is being cared for. As you breathe, notice the smallest details around you. Morning light passing through the curtain, a distant sound of birds or wind, the warmth of the blanket as it leaves your body, perhaps a sip of warm water you have just taken. These simple details gently bring the mind back to the present before it is pulled away. When the mind has slowed even a little, gently ask yourself one question. What is the first energy I want to bring into today? It may be calm. It may be clarity, it may be patience, it may be gratitude. There is no right or wrong answer. Simply choose what feels easier to breathe with. What you choose in this moment becomes the first gift you offer your mind for the day. Not a task, not a goal, just a very gentle direction. When the mind has direction, it is less easily pulled in many directions. Before closing this moment, whisper a small sentence quietly within. This morning, I enter gently. Let these words stay with you as you stand up and take the first steps of the new day. When you protect your morning protects your mind in return. Lesson 3. Return to the present moment. When the morning first opens, the mind rarely stays. Even while the body is still resting, the mind has already begun to run. It moves toward what might happen. It returns to what has already happened. What if questions appear quickly? What if today does not go well? What if I say the wrong thing? What if nothing goes according to plan? Before the new day truly begins, the mind has already wandered everywhere. In the teachings of the Buddha, this wandering is what makes the mind cluttered. When the mind is not here, it has no ground. It is pulled between past and future, between worry and imagination. But life does not happen in those places. Life happens only in the moment that is present. Right now, right where you are sitting, right in the breath that is moving in and out. The present moment is not an abstract idea. It is where the body feels. It is the sensation of the bedsheet touching your skin. It is the morning air moving through the room. It is the gentle rise and fall of the breath in your chest. When the mind is here, it does not need to do anything else. It only needs to know. Imagine the mind as the surface of water. When strong wind blows, countless ripples appear. Each thought is a ripple. If you chase every ripple, the water will never be calm. But if you sit still and do not interfere, the ripples settle on their own. The water returns to its natural clarity. Presence is how the water becomes still. It is like a leaf floating on a stream. When a thought appears, you only need to notice it. Do not push it away. Do not follow it. Simply see it and let it pass. In morning practice, when you notice the mind running, gently say within yourself, "Ah," thinking. Then bring your attention back to the breath. No blame, no judgment, just returning. Place your attention on how the breath enters the body. There is no need to adjust it, no need to extend it. Simply feel. When you breathe out, know that you are breathing out. When you breathe in, know that you are breathing in. If thoughts return, that is completely normal. Each time you notice and come back, that itself is an act of cleaning the mind. The Buddha once reminded us not to dwell in the past and not to dream of the future. This reminder is not meant to cut off thought, but to guide the mind back to the place where it can rest. When the mind is in the present, it does not have to strain to control. It does not have to prepare for scenarios that have not happened. It is simply here. There is a very simple yet profound truth. When the mind is truly present, it cannot be anxious at the same time. When you feel the breath, hear the sounds of the morning, and touch this moment, worry has nowhere to stand. The mind cannot be anxious when it is truly present. This is not a promise. It is a deep observation. Presence does not erase responsibility. It does not make life perfect, but it removes unnecessary noise. It helps you meet the new day with greater steadiness. When you begin the morning by returning to the present, you are clearing the mind of unconscious loops. Before you rise, take one more breath. Feel the body being here. Feel the mind being here, and whisper one simple sentence. Right now is enough. Carry that sense of enough with you as you step into a peaceful new day. Lesson 4. Accept impermanence. There are mornings when you wake up wishing that today could be the same as yesterday. Nothing changes. Nothing unexpected happens. Everything follows the plan so you can feel more at ease. That wish is very human. It comes from the need to feel safe and in control. Yet it is precisely this desire for everything to stay still that makes the mind feel tired from the very beginning of the day. In the teachings of the Buddha, impermanence is not a distant concept. Impermanence is the truth unfolding in every moment. The breath changes, the light changes, the body changes. Life is always moving. What causes suffering is not change itself, but resistance to change. When the mind tries to hold still something that is already shifting, tension arises. And when that tension continues, the mind becomes heavy. In the morning, resistance often appears in very subtle ways. It may be a refusal to accept a body that feels different, a reluctance to face a job that is changing direction, an avoidance of a relationship that is no longer the same, or a quiet denial that today may not unfold as planned. These small acts of resistance accumulate and form a layer of inner debris, making you feel exhausted before the day has truly begun. The Buddha taught that when we accept impermanence, we stop fighting the natural flow of life. Acceptance does not mean giving up. Acceptance means seeing what is present without adding extra tension to it. When the mind stops tightening, it naturally becomes lighter. When it no longer needs to hold everything in place, it finds space to breathe. This morning, try a very simple practice. Bring your attention to the breath. As you breathe in, feel the air entering. As you breathe out, feel the body soften. While breathing, imagine your hands tightly holding something. It may be an expectation, a fear, a plan. Then slowly, with the out-breath, allow the hands to open. There is no need to force it. Just open enough to feel a gentle release. When the hands open, the mind also has a chance to open. You are not pushing anything away. You are simply no longer gripping. The sensation may be small, but the sense of relief is real. Each out-breath is an invitation for things to be as they are. Gently ask yourself one question. What am I resisting that I could soften toward? It may be a change in health, pressure at work, distance in a relationship, or simply a morning that is not what you expected. You do not need to like the change. Just see that it is here. That seeing alone already eases the mind. In impermanence, nothing lasts forever. Both joy and sorrow come and go. When you understand this, you no longer need to cling to the old or fear the new. You learn to move with life rather than pulling it back. This softness is a very deep form of wisdom. Before stepping into the rest of the day, take one more breath. Feel the body here. Feel the mind slightly more open, and whisper a short sentence within. I can breathe with change. Carry that softness with you as you meet the unknown ahead. When you learn to accept impermanence, the mind becomes cleaner, lighter, and more ready to receive life as it arrives. Lesson 5. Gratitude for the simple and ordinary. There are many mornings when we wake up with a list of things to do. This must be finished. That is still unfinished. There's not enough time. Responsibilities are waiting. The mind begins the day with pressure rather than with life itself. We wake up to do, not to live. And from that moment, the mind is already tense before the body has a chance to feel a new day. In the teachings of the Buddha, gratitude is not a denial of the difficulties that are present. Gratitude does not ask you to pretend that everything is fine. Gratitude is simply a very gentle shift of perspective. Instead of seeing only what is missing, we begin to see what is already here. Instead of letting the mind cling to pressure, we allow it to touch the reality that is quietly supporting us. When the mind learns to see what is present, even in very ordinary forms, it begins to soften. Gratitude does not make life perfect, but it makes the mind less harsh with itself. Morning is a very suitable time to practice this. You do not need to look for anything extraordinary. Simply look around and notice what is simple. The breath entering your lungs without effort. Morning light quietly filling the room. A cup of warm water waiting on the table. The chance to open your eyes and begin again for another day. These things are often taken for granted, yet they are the foundations of life. In the teachings of the Buddha, when we recognize what is supporting us, the mind naturally settles. Comparison fades. Chasing fades. We no longer need to become someone else in this morning. We only need to be here, with what is present. This morning, take 10 seconds to practice something very simple. Look around the room where you are. There is no need to change posture, no need to stand up. Just look and name 3 things you feel grateful for. It may be the bed that supported you through the night, the fresh air, the rare quiet of the morning. As you name them, allow the feeling of gratitude to spread gently in your chest, even if only faintly. If the mind says these things are too small, simply smile at that thought. It is precisely these small things that keep life moving forward. When the mind learns to appreciate the ordinary, it no longer needs to search for fullness in distant places. Gratitude is also a way of cleaning the mind. When you direct attention toward what is nourishing you, you stop feeding thoughts that exhaust you. The mind judges less, compares less, pushes less. You begin to feel that you are living a life with depth, not just running through it. There is something very beautiful in this practice. When you hold gratitude in your heart, you also plant seeds for others. A grateful mind radiates warmth. If you wish, you can share one small thing you are grateful for in the comments. Not to show off, but to remind one another that many simple blessings are present around us every day. Before closing this lesson, place one hand over your heart and breathe out slowly. Feel the steady rhythm of the heartbeat. Feel the body being supported, and whisper one short sentence. Enough is here. Carry this sense of enough with you as you step into the new day. When the mind realizes that fullness is already present, it becomes lighter, softer, and naturally cleaner. Lesson 6. Compassionate intention. After the mind has been gradually cleaned through the previous lessons, there is still one very important thing that helps this lightness remain instead of fading too quickly. That is the direction of the mind in the new day. Many mornings, even when the mind no longer feels heavy, it is still pulled in many directions at once. I have to do this. I have to think about that. I have to meet other people's expectations. The mind is torn into many small pieces, and this very fragmentation causes it to become tired again so quickly. In the teachings of the Buddha, what shapes our actions is not the result we pursue, but the state of the mind while we act. This is why intention is different from goals. Goals speak about what you want to achieve. Intention speaks about who you choose to be in each moment. When you wake up with a clear intention, the mind has an axis to return to instead of being pulled away by countless tasks. Imagine intention as a small lantern. It does not force you to walk a fixed path. It does not demand perfection. It simply shines enough light for you to see the next step. In a quiet morning, such a lantern is more than enough. A gentle flame, not dazzling, yet warm enough to keep you from losing your way. This morning, before you stand up, take a moment to choose one quality you wish to carry through the day. There is no need to choose many, just one. It may be patience when things do not go as planned. It may be speaking more softly to others and to yourself. It may be listening more instead of reacting immediately. It may be moving without rushing, even when the schedule is full. What you choose is not a grand promise, but a gentle direction. When you choose a quality like this, the mind begins to organize itself. It no longer has to weigh everything at once. In moments of tension, you can return to one simple question. Does this action align with the intention I chose? That question alone is enough to slow a familiar reaction and open space for a more conscious response. In the teachings of the Buddha, compassion is not only directed outward. Compassion is also how you treat yourself. Many people begin the day with self-blame. I am not good enough. I did not do enough. I need to try harder. When your intention is compassion, you allow yourself to soften. You allow yourself to rest when needed. You allow yourself to be imperfect in this morning. Compassion toward yourself does not make you weak. It makes the mind less harsh. When the mind no longer attacks itself, it has more energy to be present. You begin to realize that you do not need to fight the day. You can enter it with cooperation and gentleness. Try placing your intention into one simple keyword. A word you can return to at any time. Calm, gentleness, patience, openness. When you have such a word, the mind has a place to return. In moments of confusion, silently recalling that word can be enough to pause for a breath. Before closing this lesson, place a hand over your heart and breathe out slowly. Feel the steady rhythm of the heartbeat, then whisper one very simple sentence. Today, I choose gentleness. Carry this sentence like a small flame throughout the day. Let it illuminate difficult moments. Let it remind you that a clean mind does not come from doing everything right, but from moving in the right direction. When you live with a compassionate intention, the mind becomes steadier, softer, and bright enough to guide you through the new day with peace. Lesson 7. Clean speech and clean attention. In the morning, your mind may already feel very clean. You have released yesterday, protected the first moments of the day, returned to the present, accepted change, felt gratitude for what is here, and chosen a compassionate intention. Yet it takes only one unkind inner sentence or one moment of distracted attention for the mind to become clouded again. A clean mind is not created only in the morning. It must also be cared for throughout the long day ahead. What makes the mind dirty the fastest often does not come from major events. It comes from very small words, repeated quietly inside, a whispered self-blame. I am not good enough. I messed up again. Today will probably be bad. These sentences arise quickly, almost automatically. Each time they appear, the mind tightens a little. The space that opened in the morning begins to shrink. Mental clutter returns before you even notice. Speech is not only what you use with others. Speech is also how you treat yourself. In the teachings of the Buddha, words have the power to nourish or to harm. When speech lacks mindfulness, even when it happens only inside the mind, it leaves an imprint. One unconscious sentence can weigh on the mind far more than a difficult situation outside. Along with speech, attention is another place where the mind becomes easily stained. When you scroll endlessly through news, compare your life with others, or get pulled into unnecessary arguments, attention is drawn away from the present. The mind is no longer where you are living. It runs after images and stories outside. Each time this happens, inner stillness is disturbed a little more. In the spirit of Buddhist teaching, the mind follows where attention goes. Where you place your attention, your mind rests there. When attention is scattered, the mind is scattered. When attention is colored by judgment and comparison, the mind carries those colors as well. For this reason, keeping the mind clean is not about controlling everything. It is about knowing where your attention is placed and what you are feeding the mind. This morning, learn a very short practice to keep the mind from becoming clouded too quickly. Whenever you are about to say something, whether out loud or silently in your thoughts, pause for one breath. Just one. In that breath, ask yourself a simple question. Will these words make my mind cleaner? There is no need to analyze. Just feel. If the answer is no, there is no need to blame yourself. Simply do not say the words, or say them in a softer way. By creating this small pause, you return the power of choice to yourself. You are no longer pulled by old habits. You begin to speak and think with greater awareness. The same practice applies to attention. Before opening an app, reading a piece of news, or entering a conversation, pause for one breath. Ask yourself whether this will bring more clarity to the mind. If not, you may choose to step back, not because you are avoiding the world, but because you are protecting your inner space. Keeping speech clean and attention clean is like closing the door after you have finished cleaning a room. Not to keep life out, but to prevent dust from rushing back in too quickly. When you do this, the lightness of the morning has a chance to last longer. Before continuing with your day, whisper a short sentence within. May my words be gentle. May my attention be clear. Let these words remind you to pause when needed. When speech becomes gentle and attention becomes clear, the mind has a place to rest, even in the middle of a day full of movement. Morning does not need to be perfect to be peaceful. A clean mind is not a mind without thoughts, but a mind with space to breathe, to settle, and to not be pulled too quickly. Peace is not something that comes after everything is resolved. Peace is chosen gently, moment by moment, the instant you recognize that you are here. Today, you do not need to practice all 7 lessons. Simply choose one that touches you most. It may be releasing yesterday. It may be protecting the first moments of the day. It may be speaking more gently to yourself. When even one thing is practiced sincerely, the mind has already begun to change. If you would like to continue this morning journey, stay with the channel. Subscribe to receive a small moment of stillness for the mind each day. You may also leave a keyword for today in the comments.